All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Like, I know we were talking about Rice, and a really great idea came up, right, to me.
Hmm.
I have an idea of why he'd probably want Rice for.
Let's do this. Let's
Because
do this. This is very important because the live chat needs to know, and I want to know as well. What would Rice do, like from your understanding?
because I in PSG when he used his 4-3-3 in his campaign where they nearly won the Champions League, he played Marquinhos as a CDM, and then he played Verratti as the LCM, and then he played whoever in the RCM, whoever needed to
Yeah.
be there. Are you hearing? Am I breaking up, or are you all hearing
No,
me?
no, perfect, bro, perfect.
Right, so I'm just gonna go to my thread where I did just to get a reminder of the shape. Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna change Jorginho to right. Y'all don't kill me.
No, no, no one will kill you, bro. Declared loves it. Declared wants to see Rice.
And
There
I'll
you go,
just
ladies and gentlemen. Rice is now an officially a Chelsea player.
here and I'll just put Jorginho
Here
here.
we go. Here
Because
we go. Confirmed.
here, Jorginho will just be the Verratti role, right? Just pretend Jorginho is Verratti for the sake of this. We're in a
Yeah.
4-3-3, guys. And Kante could be like whoever was the RCM at that point. They really rotate that position. So
Hmm.
what he did with, let's do a front three, the position that he got his players when building play was really interesting, especially in how he used Marquinhos as the CDM.
Yeah.
When building play, he used a diagonal approach. A diagonal approach was something like this. Think about Rudiger, the centre back, as the first piece of this diagonal approach.
Yep. Yep.
Then it would
Like
have,
the base of the diagonal, the base of the sort of that
yeah.
diagonal situation. Yeah.
So let's get our left back. We Tuchel wanted his left back to be able to overlap easily, to get into the attack if needed be. To
Hmm.
allow this left, let's just get everybody out of the way, right? To allow this left back to get so high, right?
Yeah.
Tuchel likes to cover the space. If you leave a space, we need to cover that space because we're not going to be defensively vulnerable. So what they
Hmm.
did is they got Verratti to be between the left back and the center back here. Now, Thiago Silva was like a wide center back, and there's a huge space here that if Verratti leaves here to come here, it leaves them very vulnerable. So what he did
Hmm.
is he took the CDM, which was Marquinhos, and he played him here. And you would watch it and say, okay, that's a back three. Let's just get our midfielder here. Let's just get the next right back here. And yeah, let's just get one here and that's right can do. Okay, cool. So that's how he set it up his 4-3-3.
Yeah.
You might watch this and be like, okay, that's a back three with Marquinhos dropping into a back three, and you are right. You are right, but I want you to watch it from a diagonal point of view.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Miss, just putting on my charger before this computer crashes. Yeah. So what we have here is I want you to watch this diagonal point of view from this a diagonal line here,
Hmm.
with Rudiger being the base of this little
So
triangle here.
just to stop you there, so that the live chat just knows what we're talking about. You're looking at the screen live chat straight on like this, and you're thinking, what formation is this? Don't look at it like that. Tilt it that way a little bit, and then you'll see that Rudiger is at the base of that whole diagonal formation.
Yeah. So what happened with this front three? Just keep in mind the front three turned into a kind of 1 and 2 because
Hmm.
Neymar used to drop deep, then the Mbappe used to be where Werner is, and then Di Maria used to make it like a striking duo. So
Yeah.
let's just think about it that way. How Tuchel used to build here. Let's think about that first thing we talked about was the overload. We can see
Hmm.
this pitch is in half once again. There's an overload on the left. There's a connector in Kante and the right back. Everything is nice. Well, how we use the midfield trio is that to get the fullback so high, he had one central midfielder between the centre back and left back, and then he had the CDM, which is Marquinhos, kind of between the two centre backs like this. Then he would have the other midfielder on the other side of the pitch being the connector that we always talked about. And I want you to watch it from here. We talked about that rotational circle before, if you all remembered, right?
Yep.
So the purpose of these three players here, I want you to watch Rudiger, Rice, and Jorginho. The purpose of these three players were to rotate with each other in order to find the best passing angles to release the ball. That's what was their role. Those three players were the main three first ball players in the build-up play to get those balls between the lines and in behind, right?
Yeah.
And that's why when people say, okay, Rice can drop in between the center backs, well, yes, he could. But as we've seen, Tuchel only did that so they could be three primary ball players in the build-up play. So it would be a dynamic attack, because you think about, you have three players here who all spray in passes. Now you can have somebody making that run here. You can have this guy overlapping here, and you have a plethora of options to play those balls in between the lines or in behind. Now let's talk about the rotational space I mentioned before. As you can see, there's a bunch of space here, and that's where the two attackers would be allowed to rotate. And then, say for example, Werner drops, then Kai could get in behind, then Chilwell could get in behind, and then even the right winger could get in behind like this. And then the fullback could overlap here.
Absolutely open. Yeah.
That's
once
what we
again, creating an overload.
And then Kante would be the connector in free space. And what we see here is a really fluid system where we'd see a lot of players interchanging positions and getting into positions to be as attacking as possible and penetrate those spaces. But I really wanted to talk about Rice and Marquinhos here, is that the very foundation of this system is to have these three players be the primary ball players. It wasn't that these three players could sit back so the rest could have a field day. No. These players started the field day. These players started the party, to be honest. And these players are vital in the build-up play. And to take those chances, to spray those passes, that's why I honestly felt like whoever got Alaba would have been got a gift of a player, because he is the perfect player to be there. But that's why I also said that Jorginho needs to improve on taking those chances and taking those passes on. But it also shows that having a player probably like a Calvin Phillips in this position would be so vital if we really wanted to have that CDM position. And I think that if Rice was to be here and be in that CDM position in a 4-3-3, that he would need to, develop that side of his game to be a primary ball player, to make those passes between the lines. And that is how he used Marquinhos. It wasn't for defensive cover. It was to be a ball player and a playmaker.
To be a ball player. Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, I don't know how much I rate Rice as a ball player, Ryan. Like, I think he's good, but I don't think he's the Chelsea level good for Thomas Tuchel to do the madness that you are sort of describing here. What I suppose Marquinhos was doing. I mean, I could be wrong. Rice could turn out to be like that under Thomas Tuchel, but that's just my opinion.
And in the rotation, if you see here, that's why it's so important to have ball playing centre backs if you're going to use a back four, because what we saw is Marquinhos used to drop here a lot, and then this left centre back, which was Kimpembe, got to get into these positions here where he could spray passes also, making it a really good attacking, foundation for this team. And I think that's very important to think about why we probably need players like Christensen and Rudiger, and to think about, do Zuma really fit what we might need in this position here? Because that's the foundation of a system in Tuchel's, and even in like Guardiola's system or Klopp's system or Flick's system, that ball playing Centre backs is not only about the build-up play to play out from the back. It's about creating chances up top. Everything starts from here. Whether it's a small pass between the lines or a long pass, it starts from here.
That is so